Welcome to the Live Bright Show, the pod for badass service-based entrepreneurs who are creating businesses and lives that are fun, successful, and free. And now your host, seven-figure business owner, coach, and founder of the Live Bright movement, here to help you own your potential, Moran.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Today, I have got Angela Chanowsky. I'm so excited to have Angela today. I've been following her on social media for years and finally got the opportunity to meet her this past fall. So she's the owner of Unique Genius. She is a speaker. She's an author. She wrote this incredible book called The Courageous Mind. She owned a thriving dance studio. She's a dedicated mom and spouse. She's a total stud athlete. Your husband actually flexed for us the other day when I did a podcast. So I don't know if you want to challenge that, but she is a stud athlete and she is living bright AF. And I am just super psyched to have her on the show today. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. So excited to get to be here with you and be in some great conversation.
So Angela, I just want to get right into it. I was thinking about talking with you and I was like, there's so much I want to know about this woman. Part of living bright, the B, bright stands for something, and the B in living bright means to be bold. And being bold is about being courageous. And then you wrote this book called The Courageous Mind. I'm about halfway to 3/4 of the way through, and I can't actually wait to share it with some of my coaching clients and friends and stuff, because I think there's just so much good stuff in there. And I know in the beginning of the book, you said you had always wanted to write a book. This was a very courageous book to actually write because it's also deeply personal. Can you talk about what went into that for you?
Yeah. So I always wanted to write a book. It was like a childhood dream. When I was little, I used to be at my grandma's house and put masking tape over the author's names on books and put mine and walk around and stand at this tree stump and give speeches.
Oh, wow.
So just as this little kid, I just always thought that's what I wanted to do. So many times in our lives, as life happens, those dreams get buried, right? And so it was buried for a long time and I didn't think about it. But then it resurfaced as I saw authors and other people speaking. And I was introduced to this incredible book program. And I say that I'm so honored for my experience because it is so easy to write a book now. People use AI to write a book and you can just put your own book on Amazon and call it a book. And not that isn't a book, that's some people's path. But I was blessed to go through this incredible program at Georgetown University, and it was a year long. One of my coaches was Simon Sinek, Gabby Bernstein. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it just was incredible. And you learned so much about really writing and what writing and pulling stories out of you, storytelling. And then I always thought editing was copywriting, just changing grammar and spelling and things like that, but really rewriting and pulling the best stuff out of you in storytelling. So it was such an incredible process that I learned so much about myself in that process and grew so much and learned to be vulnerable instead of, I think the book I set out to write was going to be this surface level, me preaching to people about courage instead of really sharing. Yeah, it was a great process.
That's amazing. And yeah, it's called The Courageous Mind, y'all, and you should definitely go get it if you haven't read it yet. It took a lot of courage to write because there is some really deeply personal stuff in there. And I was reading it and I was like, dude, is she a writer? Because like you said, there are a lot of different paths. It's awesome that any of us could go write a book and we can use AI and we can do all kinds of stuff to do it and get the word out. But this was done in 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, I just was looking at Facebook and I was signing the copies 3 years ago. So it would have been 5 years ago when I was deep in the process. Yeah.
It's really well written and it's really approachable. And it's this nice mix of story and research and personal experience and reflection and then interviewing other people. And I was really impressed by how it was organized and put together. And it's just, yeah, I was just like, she's a writer. Like, obviously you are a writer, but I was like, did you have experience before this? Like, how did this
No,
happen?
a team, but that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Surrounding yourself with a team of incredible coaches,
Mhm.
incredible editors, that's their genius. They know how to help you organize your thoughts, tell your story, put it all together, like you said, with research in a format so that what you're trying to say comes out in something that is great for other people to read.
It is. It worked. So great job there. And great job leading that team. Great job.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just have one more question about the book, and then I want to get into some other stuff like unique genius. You just used the word genius. So we're gonna get right into that. But what part of what inspired you is that you had found a list of 10 things that you wanted to achieve, and that writing a book was on that. Are there other things on that list that you've checked off since refinding that list that you had made when you were much younger?
Yes, so that is a powerful little book by Guy Hendricks, I believe. And I can't remember what it's called. It's on my shelf, but
Is the big leap?
it is not The Big Leap. The Big Leap is it. I just am rereading The Big Leap too, but it's just this little bitty book that asks you questions about if you were to die today, if you were on your deathbed, and it's not like trying to be sad, like you're on your deathbed if you were 20, but think ahead and you're on your deathbed and you're 80. What would you have wanted to accomplish in your life to feel like your life was a complete success? If you're on the trajectory of your life right now, would you be on your deathbed and feel happy? Like you accomplished what, you wanted to accomplish. And looking at it in that sense, it's able to pull stuff out of you of, no, these are the things I want to do before I die. These are the things I want to do in my life before that. And yeah, that's how I pulled that out. I forgot about that story. I was like, I don't know how I decided I wanted to write a book again, but I wrote that down and I didn't do anything about it for 15 years. So yeah, I wrote this list of things. I stumbled upon that list 15 years later and I pulled it out and I had not moved a one thing forward in my life. Not one of those 5 wishes, that's what it's called. 5 wishes. Not
Ah,
one of those 5 wishes had I done in 15 years. That was the hugest slap in the face. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just living on this autopilot survival mode. And yes, since then, since the writing the book, I've done all of those things. And
that's awesome. Wow.
and really not on the rest of them, not on purpose. I think when you set your life, when you like get out of that auto zone, you just start not living on autopilot and bringing things on purpose. Because a couple of the things were living outside of Nebraska and having someone like really love me. And it described all these things that I now have an incredible love of my life. And I hadn't experienced that. And I moved outside of Nebraska for him, but I probably wouldn't have thought of moving away from my kids or just moved to some random city. So things come into your life and those changes happen, I think, when you change your energy and are ready for it. So
Yeah, I love that. Good for you. So you've done all of those. So do you have a new list now?
I need to make a new one. This is a great podcast. I was like, man, now I need to think about that again. I need to make a new list.
But you're in such a different mindset and space now. Like you're so super growth oriented with your business and with your life. Like from what I can tell here and from getting to know you a little bit at the conference that I met you at in the spring, it's like you're going. And I think this is actually a perfect segue into your business, which is called Unique Genius, your current business, right? Which is maybe the fastest growing strategic partner slash
Yes,
VA service in like our industry, in the home service
absolutely.
industry,
Yeah,
right?
it
It's
absolutely is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it absolutely is. So tell us a little bit about starting Unique Genius. My listeners a little also just what Unique Genius is, starting it, and what kind of got you into that space.
Yeah, unique genius. And I talk about there's a chapter that's called Unique Genius in the book, The Courageous
Okay.
Mind.
I haven't gotten there yet. Okay.
I believe unique genius is your superpowers, like your natural strengths, talents, gifts, and your passions, what you love, what lights you up. Because sometimes there's things that we're really good at, but they drain us and we don't like to do them, right? So it's where those things collide and then also align with what gets you closer to your ultimate mission and vision. And if we can spend our live as much of our life in that, living in our unique genius, and figure out getting the rest off of our plate somehow. That's how we create the greatest wealth, impact, freedom, and fulfillment in our life.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that chapter. So you've got this service that you've created based on that to help other leaders do just that. Is that right?
From that's my mission, and like, how can I help people live in that? And then this business was created around it. So I was doing lots of, I've been an entrepreneur, like you said, I had a dance studio, been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, and was doing lots of coaching and consulting. And I just didn't have a tool. That's what I was trying to help people do, is live in their unique genius and get that in coaching. And then when I met people from the Philippines and realized like what an incredible tool this could be, is helping them get matched with somebody that they could delegate this to. So a lot of times you teach people this concept, but they don't have anyone to delegate to. And so they don't know how to take the stuff off their plate, and they're stuck at that. And I'm like, if I could just match you with an executive assistant, that's what I called it at the time. And are like, this is your partner. This is the person to help you live in your unique genius. So that's really how it started. I developed some really strong relationships in the Philippines. I had an incredible mentor who's also in the book. You probably haven't gotten to that because he's in the last 2 chapters, Nick Sinclair. He has a very large company, the outsourced accountant out of Australia, that outsources people from the Philippines to accounting firms in the US. And had the opportunity to learn and work with him. And I just was like, this is the alignment. Like this, I not only get to like coach and help people living in this, but this is the tool. So that's where it started, is just as that tool and helping people. And then it really expanded. I have a passion for home services and the trades. And so helping those businesses, not only with executive assistants, but how can we really bring someone in that's trained, equipped to be a powerhouse in your company as an admin in your business? Not what people had typically been using as virtual assistants. I saw so much in this space that I was like, ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of ooh.
Using the cheapest. So I wanted to take away all that ooh and match you with an absolute rock star that could make a difference in your business.
I love that. And why is the outsourcing to the Philippines? Because of labor costs, because you can get like a higher quality person that you might not be able to necessarily get here in the States, or?
Yes, because the cost of living there is so much less. And I think there was a lot of friction on it of outsourcing. So it first became popular. One of the industries that it was very first popular in is the accounting space. So that was an early adopter, and they were doing it in a big way before COVID. And that's how I developed relationships in the Philippines, how I met Nick in that accounting space. I was working on doing some things with an accounting company, and that's where I developed those first strong relationships. And then through COVID, I think people realized a couple things. One, you didn't have to be sitting in the office, They could be sitting somewhere else. And then a shift happened in the American workforce. And before that, a lot of times it was like, oh, American jobs. We have to hire somebody and protect American jobs. And then there was a switch that flipped, that the Americans don't want to work. Where are the people that we needed to do these jobs? And they just didn't want to do admin job. They weren't like hard at those positions, didn't have that work ethic to do those. So it was a great perfect fit. Yes, they are less cost, so it reduces overhead, but then it's also a person in this admin position that is excited to own it and get results, which is harder to find here as well.
It is. And I think you said something super key in the owning the results too, is like such a huge part. That's like next level delegation. There's delegation of all kinds of stuff, but once you can become that leader and owner that can delegate ownership over certain KPIs or tasks or whatever, that will change your business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have strategic partners, not virtual assistants or assistants. We don't want you to just delegate a to-do list. We want you to delegate results and ideas that need to happen, and they own the process of getting those results.
I love it. I love it. Why do you focus on the home service industry so much?
So that's first, I had great connection when I was in Omaha. I had great connections and people that I was working with in networking in that home service space that I just loved. Those were, and I say it's close to a dance studio. I don't know. I just fell in love with a lot of businesses are similar, right?
Yeah.
You have customers that are people, you're offering a service, it's like reoccurring. And so I just had a lot of close relationships in lawn and landscape, exterior cleaning, and roofing in my network. And so those were the first people that got clients. And
Okay.
through working with them, I was like, all right, there's so many similarities in these across the board. Even though it's different, we have a different product that's going on here. An admin in these different things all need the same skill set. We can train them up in the same way. So we don't just match people with a virtual assistant. The strategic partners stay a part of our ecosystem, and so do the owners. And we're constantly training them up on the software platforms, on AI, on customer service, getting like the very best of the training in the US. So some of our CSRs just went to a training with Michelle Myers and Angie Snow here.
Wow.
Like we are constantly leveling them up. And they're part of that mastermind of people that are admins in the other home service businesses. So I knew that once I started in that little niche, I was like, I want to stay here because we can create this mastermind so that they can all level themselves up. And then I ended up with a radio show like really soon in the beginning of my business on Turf's Up Radio. I was like, I wonder why I'm here. I don't know. But that was why. I was meant to grow in the space. And then I met my husband who owned a home service business.
Amazing. That's so great.
I was like, this is where I'm meant to be.
Okay. And it's going really well. You've scaled pretty quickly, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And because of that, because of dialing down on being able to do really well at knowing what the inside of those businesses look like and what solutions we need to provide.
That's great. So you were doing coaching and leadership development and a whole bunch of other things. And I was more solopreneur in a lot of ways. Is that
Yeah.
right? And now you're leading like a pretty massive team.
Yes. So I had built businesses. I had built the dance studio. I built a very large Mary Kay organization. I owned
Okay.
a pink Cadillac.
You
And then
did? You had a
I
pink Cadillac?
did.
Nice. Okay.
So I had been built and scaled in different ways and then helped businesses do that. But that's exactly when I was in the coaching, then when I was just in a higher level coaching, even though that was great, I was like, I will never, like, you can't scale. I was in another position of trading time for money.
Yep.
And it was just me. It was trading my time, even though I could make massive impact within their organization, it always required me. And so I was like, this is a way it's not time for money anymore, but it helps them even more. Like this is the solution that they can absolutely execute. But yes, now building this business again required another level of leadership. Even though I've done a lot of entrepreneurship, yes, it's the first time that like on my own and building like without other leaders. Like I built organizations, but I had like leaders running alongside me. So to build something from the ground up and build leaders and leaders of leaders to lead over 150 people, it's just always exciting, like the next level of you that it takes. It's not necessarily the next level of like skills or things. It definitely takes the next level of you and how to lead those people. And that you're not leading all the people. It's like you're leading the leaders. How well can you develop your leadership team?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're totally right. And so I'm curious what you've invested in for yourself or how you've learned to develop those leaders. If you could give some pointers to some of the folks listening, that could be really helpful, I think.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier of like the first level is learning to not just delegate tasks, but learning to let go,
Yeah.
like KPIs and result. Like you own this, you're accountable for this. And it's in trusting somebody else. I'm rereading the book 10X is Easier Than.
Such a good one. Yes.
That's a good one. And
Yeah.
he talks about in this last chapter of you can't trust other people until you learn to trust yourself. So that letting go was the first thing of trust one person. Trust, you got to trust yourself that you trained them up, that you equipped them, and then you have to trust them. And trusting is like showing and giving it to them. And it all starts with the first person. If you are in a business and you have an admin, whatever the top level in your business is, whether you have an admin or whether you now have an ops manager, that you actually leave them and don't answer the phone. That one person, like it starts with that one person, trusting one person, that you train them, you trust yourself, that you train them enough, you trust that they got it, and you go away for a day and say, you have to handle it all without me answering the phone. You're not allowed to talk to me.
Right.
And believe it or not, that first one is the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
People. And once you get that and get that you're leading to the, not that I'm leading people to do things and I'll always be here to rescue them, but leading to the point that they don't call you and ask you.
Right.
And I'd say that's the biggest tip. It starts with one. And then how many positions in your company can you build that to? And then you're teaching your leader to do that too. Otherwise, they don't have, as you build and scale, if they can't develop leaders under them, that's the same thing, then they're stuck in the same position that you are in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the first big one. Like the moment that you can truly step away from your business, even for a day, and then for 2 days, and then for 3 days, in trusting yourself. There's lots of other leadership things that I've gone to. I just went to an incredible leadership breakthrough experience that like things to get you out of your comfort zone, right? And for other people to give you feedback. Very often put ourselves in this situation as leaders, right? We started a business because we wanted to be in charge.
Totally. And you have to develop a really specific culture in order to be able to get honest feedback. It's hard. It's because ultimately, or at the end of the day, there is a power difference. Like we own the business. And so to have our employees feel comfortable enough to provide us with that feedback takes a whole other, I think that it's a different level of leadership and trust as well. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To find ways to create that vulnerable culture to ask for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you say that, another big key for me, and I think this just happened really in this last year, creating that culture of vulnerability. I wasn't honest with them enough about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, of what it's the weight of it to be a business owner. Like they didn't want to hear that, or they didn't need to hear my problems, or they didn't need to hear the weight of it. And the more I've been vulnerable with everybody at every level in my team, the more that they feel comfortable being vulnerable and giving that feedback. But letting them know as a business owner, just so you guys know, like you guys get a paycheck no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm here to protect you, to security. You can trust me no matter what. You are all getting paid. No matter what, you're getting benefits. No matter what, you're taken care of.
Yeah.
As a business owner, we have to protect the greater good. Difficult decisions every day. Can you imagine making a decision, and every decision you made in the business, whether we were keeping this customer, whether we were this strategic partner need coaching or anything that happened, every single thing was the weight of, will everybody get paid? If I make the wrong decision, how is everybody getting paid?
Totally.
And so just sharing stories like that and real things, because otherwise a lot of times people working for you just think, oh, you're just making the money off of us, right? Like, where does all this extra money go? Instead of being vulnerable enough that I have to make the decisions.
It's a lot.
To make sure all of you get paid.
No, I think you're totally right. And it's interesting. I think back about when I first started my cleaning company, and I didn't know a ton about business. I knew some stuff, but then not other stuff, and like everybody, right? And what I got paid was whatever was left over. And I remember one week being like, I got paid less than, not actually more than one week, paid less than the cleaners, right? And I had 12 people working for me. I was working all the time. I was like, okay, this is not right. Like clearly I need assistance. And so that's when I went and got like professional consulting and assistance to help me, because I'm like, this is not working. This is not worth it. This is not why I created this business, because it's a lot of responsibility and there's no way they weren't going to get a paycheck. Like, of course, right? Like that's not how I ever would lead. And I totally agree with you in terms of the more appropriately vulnerable or whatever we can be, the better. I have done, I think, a lot more of that, like a lot more real stuff with my leadership team and my cleaning company, because we have weekly calls and all of that. It's like, okay, I didn't get that done. I said I was going to get that done. And so I make mistakes in front of them and I let them know what happened. I take accountability. So I'm as transparent as possible as well. And I'm not just this veneer of top-down leadership or whatever. And I think it's really assisted with loyalty and buy-in and just like all of it in general, right? They have a much better understanding of things. We call them woo meetings in my office. Woo! And I think I've been wooing too much. My throat's like way too much.
I love it.
Hey friend, a quick break to ask you to please go to livebrightshow.com to be added to my email list. Here's the thing. I hate email, so I pretty much guarantee you're not going to receive anything excessive. Only important things like when I have new options in my coaching program, offer free challenges, new courses, release a new pod, or perhaps an occasional biz life tip. That's livebrightshow.com. Now back to the pod.
What's with Unique Genius? What's the most fun you've had with it in the last year?
Oh, we're about to have a bunch of fun again. One of the most surreal things is our summit every year. So we fly over to the Philippines, and the Philippines are a whole bunch of islands. So it's not like the US where you can get small and everyone could drive in to a place. It's a whole bunch of islands. So we do an in-person event, but we have to fly everybody in.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
So all the people fly in and we do a 3-day event, in-person event, because I really believe in the power of human connection and the community that creates, and then the powerful collaboration that can come from that community. Those are core pillars that, especially in this age of AI and everything changing, like all we've got left is the power of human connection and differentiating ourselves from that. And we're about to go over, we'll be over there again in a month. But last year was the first year that we did it. And it's obviously a big endeavor and a huge expense to fly everyone in.
Right.
And other people are like, what the heck are you doing? And it's just such an important thing for me. And like I said, a pillar of our culture. But last year was the first time that we did it. And to see all these people, my original team members I knew them before, like they came with me to start this company. So I've known them for 6 years before I met them. So to have like such close relationships with people on Zoom and to never have seen them in person, and like it was a whole bunch of people. It's like with 100 people. And I'm like, there's got to be a word for this in this era of digital, that you've seen somebody so much digitally and then you finally see them in person. It's not deja vu, but what is it? What's that word?
Yeah, you need to invent it. I don't know.
Yeah. But it was so much fun. And just like I said, was so cool to meet these people and spend days with them. And so we get to do it again. There'll be nothing like that first time of seeing all those people, but now there's a whole new generation of people and a bigger team and more leaders that we haven't met in person yet. And so getting to just go pour into them and be with in person, because I lead a lot of my life on Zoom with my team.
Yeah,
Getting
totally.
to them is just magical.
I bet. Where did your like heart and desire to serve come from? Because it's like very clear in everything that you've done and written and all of it. Where does that come from for you?
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's super present. Yeah.
Comes out. And I don't know if that's always there. I think that it's something that we cultivate. It was there at different levels, I guess, in my journey. My first business, I said I felt like it was a dream. I didn't know what I was running a business at 23, but I got to teach dance to kids, and I got to dance and teach and share that passion with people. But I did right away want to help other people. Like I got to do that, and I had so much fun helping and teaching dance, but I saw other business owners in the dance space struggling. That's how I started coaching, because they knew how to dance and how to choreograph, but they had no idea. They were artists, not business owners. And I was raised by my dad, who's an entrepreneur, and I was like, let me help you figure this out to make money. Like, you're here to make money. You can make more of it. Or you're not going to like it. I guess that was my first real like feeling like I was showing up and serving and making a difference, that ignited that want desire to really help other business owners be successful, and that you didn't have to like, it didn't deplete your success. Like we could all be successful. Let me just show you what I know, what worked for me. I know that this worked. You don't have to be an expert in it, right? I just know these tools. I know that they worked for me. And I know if you can just do these tools, that they will work for you too. And so I think just seeing that's probably how that grew in me. That's the first time I remember really wanting to help and see other people's lights light up. And that just kept growing.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, such a good question.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Look at it. Like, I feel seen. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You said that. Just, man, she's really good. And I'm like, oh, I'm excited.
I'm a pretty naturally curious person. And I'm like really appreciative when people want to spend an hour hanging out with me and talking. And I'm like just genuinely, wow, what makes this person tick? How are they living so bright, and what filters are they using in their lives? I'm curious because I'm always looking to grow and expand myself. Yeah. Have you read The Comfort Crisis?
I have not read that book.
Oh, you would dig it. You would dig it. It's Michael Easter, I think is his name. And I read this book a few years ago, and I'm just thinking about it because of like The Courageous Mind and your book. And it's really about how our lives are structured, and we create these lives to get as comfortable as possible, right? And then at some point in time, we've got the perfect temperature with air conditioning and the perfect temperature with heat, and we've got lazy boy recliners that are like super comfortable, and we work hard in our lives to create and structure these very comfortable lives. And then the question he poses, a bunch of questions, but the main one is, and then what happens, right? And I read this, you get unhealthy, bored, lack purpose, lack drive, like a whole bunch of things break down. And I read this book maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it just was like, it was like this massive alarm that went off in my head, because I realized I had been doing that. And that the more comfortable you get, the less courageous you often are, the less bold you often are. And I read it and I instantly went and like cold plunged, of course, right? I was like, I gotta get uncomfortable.
That is a good one. The only reason I still do, I'm like, I'm not sure about these health benefits, but when I do it, it reminds me like, okay,
I can do hard things, right? And it builds a muscle. But it's a great book. And I think it's like, to me, it was a massive, kick in the pants. Not that I want life. I don't want life to be hard necessarily, but life is hard. And so I want to be prepared for the hard parts of it too. Life is also freaking awesome. It's all the things, right? And that's why like boldness is such a part of like my belief system, and courage is part of yours. And so I was like, I got to tell Angela about this book to see if she's read it.
Yes. No, I haven't. And I want to. Right. Yeah. I mean, so many of those things we live, that's what's wrong with our society, why people end up unhappy. Like you said, we've done everything to just make ourselves comfortable, and you mentioned ones, but like everything we do. Amazon is for like, how many times can we click on there and be like, oh, that'd make my life more comfortable?
Right.
See something, scroll something. Gosh, when you said that, I'm just like, it's an epidemic how much we spend to make ourselves comfortable.
It is. No, totally. And I don't think and he does, this guy, Michael, the author, he does extreme things, physical tests and all kinds of stuff. But it just really got me thinking just like of the everyday things that we do, right? And I was getting so comfortable. I was feeling like blah, like I can travel where I want. I can work as little as I want. I had achieved some good things and was feeling good. I was making the money. I wanted all the things, but I was like, what's the point? I want more purpose. I want more whatever. So I'm all about choosing conscious discomfort is what I'm about now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose to run a marathon. I'm going to choose to start a new business. I'm going to choose to do these things that are going to really take me out of my comfort zone, cold plunge, that sort of thing. In fact, we need to get a cold plunge at home. But yeah, so I think you would dig it, especially with the courageous mind and with what you're doing. I love it. All right, let me ask you. I feel like we could definitely talk for a very long time. So I want to try to keep it in check here. But let me ask you, you are leading with heart, integrity. You're impacting the lives of all of your staff and team members, and of course, all these business owners out there as well. Where are you going with this? Do you have an end game with Unique Genius? Also, by the way, once this gets up on YouTube, check out my cool mug, everybody. I have a unique genius
Oh,
mug. Yes, it's my coffee mug. What's your end goal and game with this? Or do you have one?
so I don't have an end game of like when people are like, are you building it to this and then waiting for private equity to sell and then
Right.
off. I am like 10x easier than 2x of that. I don't see myself retired.
Yep.
It's how are you continuing to do something that you love, and that might shift your unique abilities and what you love in it will shift, right? As we're scaling the business, there's parts of it that still require me that I'm like, oh, that's a little too much of me. This isn't
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do as we
Yeah.
go to next levels. But the next thing is just continuing to grow and expand this to help more people see that light, that their internal light, one, to discover it. I would say, what's the next thing? That is something that's on my heart of like right now, we help people live in their unique genius. We help people with the practical part of it. Once I really can step even more away from this and the leadership team has this, that there's just it's all on running great. I would like to help more people like have permission and uncover what their unique genius is. So diving into that part of it, of a lot of times, again, replacing people with people, there's, okay, I'm going to do the routine, I'm going to offload, but are they really being brave and living in their unique genius? Are they really living in their gifts and in their passions? So going to still help people with the tool, but also diving back in, working with those business owners that are serious of like, how do we do some deep work and uncover what your light is again and help you shine it brighter.
Ah, I love it. I love it. You've done that in the past, and it's gonna be great when you can do that again because you're obviously really good at it. That's awesome. That's gonna be good for the world. That's gonna be good for the world. I've got a question for you about decision making. And it's a weird question. Some people are like, they're like right there with it, and others like, I don't really know. So however it goes it'll be great. So you are growing, building, scaling, you travel a ton, you've got kids, like you're a very busy, successful entrepreneur. And with success often comes a lot more opportunities to do more businesses or more speaking gigs or more conferences or just more. So what filters do you use to decide business and personally about what you're going to do and not do?
Yes. One is I really try and preserve my decision-making power. So that is big. I talk about it somewhere in the book of decision fatigue.
Oh yeah.
And so I wear black every day. And when I see color and I see other people's color, I was like, that's so awesome and makes people happy. There is a reason I do it. And it is, and sometimes I sprinkle in color. I say when JC's good, he gets some bright color. We're on vacation, but I try and automate as many decisions that are daily decisions in my life. So I wear black every day. We meal prep. We get up at the same time the alarm goes off at the same time every day. It's not a decision of if we're doing that or if we're going to the gym. So how many of the decisions in your life can you just put on autopilot? Or then empower your team to make. So that's two big things that I do in my life to eliminate decision fatigue. So I have more power to make good decisions. And that's one of the things most people do wrong is they stress so much about the big decisions and they don't really have any decision-making power. So they're saying yes to the wrong things because their decision is fatigued. They've already had to decide what to wear, what to eat, what to do, what time to wake up. And so eliminating decisions for myself, empowering my team to make decisions without asking me so that I'm not involved in a decision. Those are two huge things.
That's huge. I just want to pause. I think that is brilliant. I just want to pause on that for a second because I try to eliminate decision stuff and automate certain things in my life, but that's a very systematic approach to things. Like, okay, like they're just these non-negotiables. I wear black every day. I get up at, I think JC said 4:23 or something like that.
Yep.
Every single day. My meals are prepped. Like you are removing so much noise from your life every day. And I think that's brilliant. That's a huge point. So I just wanted to make it again. That's awesome.
The two things, automate yourself and then empower your team. And I notice it when something creeps up. And then believe it or not, and I know it, and then it takes huge power away from decisions I have to make in my business. So for example, we're going camping this weekend, super fun, going on a big side-by-side trip with the girls, but we have to pack for 4 days. And this resulted in me having to think of what am I going to pack that I can make ahead for our family for 4 days and then get the groceries. And I have a new executive partner because mine got promoted in the company. So I have a new one. So she doesn't know me well enough to like plan meals for me and order the groceries and have them delivered yet. Don't worry, she will in the month. But
Awesome.
those little decisions, like,
Yeah.
took a ton away from me making decisions of what the company needs to do, believe it or not. I
believe it. I believe it.
Today. That sounds silly, but I had to do that today. And then the other big tool for like big things and what we're doing personally and professionally, and this is a new one, and this is really important because JC and I both have, he works alongside me in Unique Genius, and we're partners in growing that. But when we met, like I had Unique Genius, he had a lighting and power washing company and pressure washing company, and did a lot of Christmas light coaching and has his own things.
Right.
So we have a lot of stuff we do together, but we also have our own stuff. And then 2 sets of kids blended, college, teenage. So he got me for Christmas, Jesse Itzler's big ass calendar.
I love that one.
That's
I have it too.
Decision-making thing, like blocking out, these are the important things. Like we agree on it. These are the important things that are non-negotiables that we're doing for our business this year. These are non-negotiable trips that we're taking for ourselves this year. This is non-negotiable family time that we're having, and you can see it because it's color-coded.
It's awesome.
And if you put the important things on there, then you don't feel like other things took over. And as long as I felt a lot of peace this year in putting that all on and mapping it out, and then every time new big things came to the surface, and I'm looking at the calendar, so you see it, we could always go to the calendar and be like, where does this fit in the puzzle? Does this fit? I acknowledge we are huge travelers, and if JC brings up, can we go? I'm like,
yeah.
We'll go. But then again, we can travel easily because we have systems in place for the travel, right? Already always packed. A lot of people go on a vacation and it throws them off for 3 weeks. You can pick up and go to Dallas and not miss a beat.
Right. Yeah. No, that's beautiful. That's great. You guys, you travel. I think you travel more than maybe anyone I know. I travel a ton too. Lately, I'm like, I think I want to be home a little bit more, but there's different seasons. I think it's awesome. You guys are always on the go. I love that you use the big ass calendar. It has been so helpful. I was just looking at it yesterday, at mine yesterday, when I was looking at a work event in August that I'm going to see you at, the huge convention, actually. Yes. So I was looking at that. I'm like, can I do it? Does it make sense? Is it going to be like a plus or a minus? And I was like, okay, perfect. I love the big ass calendar. It's a very helpful tool. That was really helpful, Angela. Do you have a couple more minutes, or are you good on time? Okay. So just a couple more minutes. So you've got, like you said, you've got a lot of different things going on. You automate a whole bunch of things. What are the sort of things, your non-negotiable daily things that you do to maintain your brightness? And you're super healthy, obviously, and you've got a lot of moving parts. So what do you do every single day to make sure you're ticking on all? And most people aren't like bright every single day necessarily or whatever, but what are the practices and habits that you might have that could help somebody else out there?
My morning ritual is so important and sacred to me. And I newly call it morning ritual instead of routine. I think in the book, I still call it morning routine, but I like to say ritual because it feels less like I have to do it. And like, these are the rituals that I've put in place to be the best version of myself that I can be. And I am so passionate about that. You have to fill your own bucket first, just like you said, like you have to intentionally do these things to take care of yourself. It's not like a mental health day or like extra time. It's important that you do these things to take care of yourself so that your light can shine bright for everyone else. You don't have anything to pour from or to give to anyone if you don't take care of yourself first. And so I'm really big on the morning ritual that I do not have any contact with the outside world. like, except for JC. Because he's there with me, but not opening my email, not opening social media. I think a lot of people have like morning routines and they work out and they meditate and they do different things, but right away in the bed still, they're on their phone.
Right.
And your energy before you got your energy. We work out, we go to the gym in the morning, then we do the sauna, cold plunge, and JC got us a new for my birthday, sauna and cold plunge in the garage. So we're very lucky. And I love to do outside morning miles. I do meditation while I'm in the sauna. So I kind of stack some things. I also listen to a book on Audible while I'm at the gym.
Yep.
And then I walk outside and do outside miles while I do a brain dump. So while I do morning pages, even like doing a dump and writing. And sometimes I write them down a little bit, but a lot of times I just do a dump while I'm walking. So
Okay.
it takes me a long time, and that's with stacking. Like, that's when I'm always doing two things at the same time. But it's all super important to me because I want to get all those things in. I want to walk outside and be in morning sunlight and do grounding. And if you don't do everything in the morning, to me, all you do is think about it and feel guilty all day long.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So do you maintain that when you're traveling too?
Yes. We pick out hotels by the gym that's outside. Now, depending on where we're traveling, if we get outside miles in, there's occasionally like we're in a city and I'm like, these outside miles aren't safe.
Right.
But I try to staying at a beach and try and do that. But yeah, we don't always have sauna and cold plunge. Sometimes we do. But otherwise, yeah, when we travel, we design our travel around it too. Because otherwise, again, that's why travel gets so many people off. If you don't still do everything that you do.
Yeah. I found
half the time.
Yeah.
You're only living your routines half the time.
Yeah, totally. I created this thing I call it the Daily Shine Protocol, which is like such an unsexy name. But anyway, that's what it is. But it's this very portable set of rituals that I can do every day, no matter where I am, to keep myself like in alignment and living bright. And because I was trying to adopt other people, there's like Miracle Morning or there's all these other ones, right? And I was like, they didn't work for me. Some of them were too rigid. They're fantastic things out there for sure, but they didn't work for me. So I created my own, just like you created your own, because I would travel and I would find like I would fall off the proverbial wagon with everything I was trying to do to maintain my joy and my brightness. And I think it's really good to find something that works for you that you can take wherever you go. So that's awesome to hear. That's awesome. Angela, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Yes. Okay. So
you have to do it in reverse so I can ask you and learn all the things about you.
I can't wait. That'll be fun. Let me ask you like two final things. Number one, where can people, and we'll put it in the show notes, but where can people find you if they're interested in your book or Unique Genius, whatever it might be?
Yeah. So at Angela Chanowsky on all the social media platforms, which is funny and new to me. I've still only had this last name for less than 6 months. So even when you introduced me, I was like, oh, that's my name. But Angela Chanowsky, and then our website is unique-genius.com.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Last question for you, Angela. This incredible life, which I feel like I know the answer to, but I'm just going to toss it out there anyway, that you've created, is it more by design or by luck?
By design. By design. I do believe, though, that when you say by luck, that when you vibrate with an energy and are open and stop controlling with such closed fist and leading it into your plan, that God, universe, places opportunities and things in your life.
Girl, we got so much to talk about. Even more. I love it. We're so aligned. Thank you for that. I totally agree. And thank you for joining us. Thanks for spending your very valuable time with us here on the Live Bright Show. And that's it for today, everybody. Have a great day.
And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Live Bright Show. If you enjoyed this pod, please go to livebrightshow.com to be in the know for new program offerings and podcast releases. Molly has more awesome guests and content coming your way, so you're going to want to be on that list. Also, just because you're still listening, it would be incredible if you could go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and provide the show with a 5-star review. You know how they help. Go forth, have fun, and live bright, friends.